And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the Market Recap, Monday, September the 12th. I'm John Hoagland. As always, thanks for trusting me with your time. Taking a few moments to rest, rewind, and relax after the trading day today. Just kind of watching and looking and checking the news and everything. And apparently, a lot of the talking heads are calling our little rally we've got here in the equities a relief rally. Well, I guess we're going to find out a little bit if they're going to be right tomorrow with the CPI numbers. Goldman Sachs is talking about cutting hundreds of jobs this month. Another bad news as far as employment is concerned. VIX actually 6% higher into the close today. I find that a little bit strange, especially with the equities closing higher and taking a nice little jump to the upside as we started to close here. We've got equities, the E-mini S&Ps were up about 48 points at the end there. Of course, these are not official, just over 1% higher. Nasdaq, was looking at it, it was up 137 again, up just over 1%. And the Dow up 203 last I checked, and that was by about 0.6% higher. So the Dow a little bit of a lagger this afternoon. One thing that sticks out to me is silver futures rallied about 6% today. Gold settled at its 2-week high as the dollar continues to kind of come off its recent high. It's really about where it was this morning, a 108.34. So no big moves today in the dollar index, but certainly some moves as far as our metals are concerned. Not so much as far as our currencies are concerned, or at least not the euro. I see Dan Emmons. I know you haven't swung through here for a while. I know you are funded. I heard that. I've been waiting to see you to tell you congratulations. Very excited for you. You're going to see some good things coming and some continued success for you, Dan. Very happy to see you doing so well. That's awesome. It's some in my eye there. Sorry about that. So crude oil priced kind of idled higher in a higher range. Don't forget we are coming into rollover in the in crude oil. Equities rolled today. We'll see what happens as far as energies tomorrow, and currencies, of course, rolling this week. So higher prices in the E-mini S&Ps held up at weekly kickoff high. Delta very negative this afternoon. Down approximately $8,000 right now, and that negative delta is more aggressive sellers hitting the bid. More aggressive sellers hitting the bid and unable to move the market lower can be indicative of longer time frame traders in the marketplace. It would surprise me if that was the case, because we know it's in rollover, and we do have the CPI numbers due out tomorrow. Just an interesting tidbit there. Another thing, our equities all put up normal trading days today. So the first hour of trade enveloped the entire range for the session. That doesn't happen that often. And to have all three of them the same way, kind of unusual. We'll take a look at that on the charts when we get to them. Nasdaq, same thing, develops day time frame balance short of the weekly kickoff high in the Nasdaq, as we still wait for that CPI number, which is looming tomorrow. Gold ranges higher, no gap fill. Tough choppy day though. Tough choppy day. There was Lots of potential breakouts of early range that just didn't come through. It's a tough day. The euro follows the dollar's lead, kind of sideways, testing the weekly kickoff high. We'll see that again on the charts this afternoon. And the 10-year stays range bound. Price covers the naked point of control downside. If we saw the market forecast, we were saying, yeah, the market's probably likely going to visit and recheck one of these points of control, either the one that was a little higher or the one that was a little lower. It shows the one that was a little bit lower. And the natural gas, perhaps we were a little bit too short. We get a nice little move to the upside and a P-shaped profile in the natural gas. So perhaps a little bit too short for our own good. As always, please make sure you hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, and heckling. And love are always welcome here on the recap. Hope you enjoyed the group coaching session today. Tomorrow we do have, let's see if I can find it here. We do have, where did it go? We do have another session tomorrow at 12:30, not to mention the Make Hogue Money tomorrow, right after the market forecast in the morning. Here's the link so you can join Make Hogue Money, but we also have Tales from the Coach. We're going to be looking at some of the toughest and most popular questions in group coaching. We had 2 sessions. We're going to be on Tuesday tomorrow at 12:30 and Thursday tomorrow at 12:30. So hopefully some good information for you there. If you've been attending group coaching, you may hear some things you've heard before, but largely because these are your questions, answering your questions. Hopefully it'll be a good session, and maybe we'll learn something we didn't know before. What else? No forecast on Friday. We will also be having a limited availability for our support team. We're going to have a big meeting together, all in one big room, and discuss all of the things that we have in store for you to improve the program, much of them based on your ideas and thoughts. So we're looking forward to a very useful session on Friday. Don't worry, we'll be talking about you. Excellent. Did we get a late spike in the Nasdaq? Looks like we did. It looks like, well, no, we almost did. Almost. Yeah, the late spike that is coming up now is after the close, but it may still be useful for a late spike in the Nasdaq. Why don't we do this? Let's go through the charts. There's a good idea. Let's check it out. So here's the daily in crude. We're talking about price just kind of idling in a higher range. Really centrally located between weekly kickoff high and weekly kickoff low. We know it's in rollover. Here's the 30-minute chart. So we did open with a gap. We did not close the gap. We just basically looked lower, looked higher, just kind of flopped around up here looking for new information. We did close a gap, a previous gap here. Now we were looking at these weak highs. We did need to go up and check into those weak highs. We've got another one still yet a little bit higher, but we did close this gap and just took care of some old business, looking for new business, it looks like. Here's the S&Ps. Let's see if we've got any continuation after the open, and we do not. The Nasdaq was the one that was kind of presenting as the weaker of the two today. Here's our 30-minute chart, our relief rally, of course. Nobody's going to believe that we can move higher. It looks like we've got a close relatively close to weekly kickoff high. We did have some pretty serious negative delta in the S&Ps. Negative 8,000 at the end of the day as the market continued to try and push higher. We did close above weekly kickoff high. How was volume? Of course, that's not going to matter because it's rollover. Remember, this is the December contract, so all the volume just now moving into the December contract. December in the Nasdaq as well. So here's what we did. Here's 30, 30. There it is. So again, not the opening range, not necessarily the low of the session. We did look down below it, but we were unable to close the gap, which has us do what? Look for opportunities to look for longs. We don't see a late spike here in the S&Ps. We did, however, close above weekly kickoff high, just really magnetic towards it today. Well, it is rollover. We've got to remember that directional activity is going to come a little harder when it comes to the product being in rollover. The Nasdaq really just kind of held below weekly kickoff low. It was the weaker of the two. One thing back to the S&Ps here, we had a normal trading day. Low of the initial balance, high of the initial balance. We never left that throughout the rest of the session. Very kind of even bell curve. A little to the upside, buyer control perhaps. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq now. Here's the daily. By the end of the day, we're getting a lot closer to a test of that weekly kickoff high. It's based in the same information as the weekly kickoff high in the S&Ps. But the Nasdaq has been having a more difficult time in this recovery. It was a much deeper move to begin with, so I'm not going to be including this in the initial initial balance. Still a normal trading day, but we've broken out above. I'm going to go test that weekly kickoff high. Gold. Here we go. The highest close we've had in quite some time, about 2 weeks. So we've been really trying to think of, are we going to actually put together a W bottom here? I think we've got a long way to go before we can say we've succeeded at that. But here's the 30. What a choppy day. I mean, a kind of volatile, choppy, wide range. Market opens with a gap, can't close the gap relatively early. We turn around, we put in a new high, come all the way back down after the close to retest the low of the session. It's a pretty bit of a face ripper today in gold. It would have been a tough day, but here's the day in silver. Look at that move. That, my friends, is not a relief rally. Or at least I don't think so. Euro. So we had a chance. We could have been somebody. We could have been a contender. We fell short. Look at the 30. And overnight longs. No. Just bouncing along the top here. Weekly kickoff high, no acceptance in regular trading hours, and no gap close, no continuation, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Not much to do, but potential on the horizon. 10-year. We were sitting up here this morning looking at, okay, well, what are we going to do? We're in range, we're in value. Only two things really to do, and that's to go look for visual targets. We had the point of control up here we were looking at this morning, and we had the point of control down here that we were looking at this morning. Apparently, we chose to go down here and recheck this one. We know rates are going to be going higher. All in how these markets respond to that information moving forward. And the nat gas. This is a previous weekly kickoff level. Sometimes I leave them on there and gray them out when I think that they may become impactful. So we had a lot of range here. We did break out, I would say, above this 4-day range or 3-day range that we were in. And I think that was enough to scare any shorts out of this market. We did end up with a P-shaped profile. P-shaped profile, what's it mean? Short covering. And what a P-shaped profile it was. So we got a little bit short in the hole here. Don't really have a very strong low here. I'm a little bit concerned about that, though. Anyways, it's only Monday. We got 4 more days with which to find our opportunities. Haggle Matters, good afternoon. Dag, good afternoon. IB session today, yep. Nicholas. You may see that late spike in the Nasdaq as something, but not so much in the S&Ps. In music, for you Monkees fans out there, 1966, September 12th, the first episode of the Monkees aired in the U.S. I was a Monkees fan. I thought they were entertaining. I thought there was some good talent there. Mickey Dolenz, the drummer, and did most of the singing as well. I thought was a really good musician. I think he's the only one left with us, too. Only one left. Creedence Clearwater Revival's 1970 album Cosmos Factory hit number 1 in the UK and number 1 in the US on this date. Stevie Nicks and Christine McVie announced on this day that they were going to leave Fleetwood Mac at the end of the current tour. For you old country fans, today's George Jones' birthday. George Jones, 1931, he was born, passed in 2013. Today is also Barry White's birthday. 1944, Barry White was born. Everybody knows Barry White. And today is also Neil Peart's birthday. Neil Peart, the drummer from Rush, one of the best drummers ever. The best drummers ever. And I mean ever. Today in 2007, Led Zeppelin announced that they would reform for a star-studded tribute concert in London. John Bonham's son Jason played drums for them. Today's Jennifer Nettle's birthday. If you know Jennifer Nettle from Sugarland, it's a good band. As far as history is concerned, in 1995, the Harlem Globetrotters' 8,829 game winning streak was snapped. They were playing in Europe against some ex-NBA stars, some sort of exhibition game. Well, it became more than that. I remember my dad took me to see that. Today's the wedding anniversary of John F. Kennedy and Jackie. That was in 1953. Everybody's talking about Barry White was born today. So, anyways, a little lightheartedness after the trading day. Is that Frank Zappa over my left shoulder? No, it's a good shot though. That is Jim Croce. Jim Croce, one of my favorite singer-songwriters, and when I was playing guitar, I could play about half his catalog. Rooster got your winning streak back. Glad to hear it. Hey, hey, we're the Monkees. Very nice. Very nice. So anyway, when I picked up the guitar, I've never really played electric guitar. I've always played acoustic guitar, and I was really just fascinated with fingerstyle and Jim Croce and James Taylor and some of the instrumentals that I'd picked up along the way. I really got to pick it up again. I kind of miss it. My pads on my fingers are all gone. I'd have to work my way up. I have to work my way up to that. But we can do it. We can do anything. All right. What are we looking at tomorrow? We are looking at CPI 7:30 tomorrow morning. Really the biggest and most and only thing important for us on the economic calendar in the U.S. here tomorrow. So be rested and ready. I know it's only Monday. We got Tuesday, we got Wednesday, we got Thursday. I won't be trading on Friday. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on you, of course. All right. Yeah, it is worth it, isn't it, Haggle Matters? Michael, I like the way you think. All right. Get some rest tonight, everybody. See you tomorrow morning for the market forecast, 7:45 as usual. We'll see what the markets did overnight, see what kind of context we can come up with tomorrow morning. Blessings to you. Be good to yourself, be kind to others, and say a prayer for world peace. And I will see you tomorrow morning.